So, okay, I guess we're only going to do 2 segments because that one took a lot longer than I thought
That's
it
good.
would. We're 45 minutes after the hour. So Josh and Nom put together or Numidius put together this thing of kind of ship upgrades during the anniversary sale and how to use them to your best benefit. So I will toss it over to Callie Josh and let him open it up with that, and then we'll kind of all do a little bit of a round robin after they get through their little checklist here. So all yours, Josh.
Yeah, so a lot of us here are really heavily invested in this game and time, and some of us with the ships we have. And I personally, every year, have spent, I don't know, probably a ridiculous amount of time going through my ships and seeing what I wanted and kind of adjusting based on what I saw in the game and what I enjoyed doing. The anniversary sale, in my opinion, is one of the best times to take a look at your fleet, maybe apply some of the things you've learned in the game and decide if you want to make any changes. This can even just be something as simple as upgrading the insurance on your ship. But before we get into that, I want to read this preface because there's a couple ways you can get yourself in trouble. Number one, melting a ship for a repurchase makes that ship or those funds account bound. So be aware of that if you're going to engage in this process. Many of my ships are account bound because I've done buys and sells. Um, you need to check the melt value of the ship you're selling versus the current purchase price. Many of the ships that are out there had an original price that was much less than the rebuy price. And oftentimes that rebuy price may come back up and you'll have to pay more money for a ship you already had. So be careful of that. Um, Not all ships, or some of your ships may have game packages because not all ships have those. If that's your only game package, or if you want multiple packages, that's another consideration to use before going into this endeavor. But with that said, typically during the anniversary sale, there is some kind of LTI token ship. And by that, for anyone that doesn't know, what that means, that's usually a ship probably in the $50, $60, $70 range or less that has some kind of LTI token. On occasion, they're in the $30 ranges. And you can use that to upgrade to any of the ships that's possible to do a cross chassis upgrade. When you do that, you need to make sure that you are looking at the game package that you want, the ship that you're buying, and the insurance it has. Sometimes they have 10-year insurance available for existing ships you already own. I believe last year they had that for the Cutlass Black and a few others. So if you're looking for that, you need to dig through all the options in the ship sale to see you might have a free upgrade. You need to check the sale schedule because it's going to be over a period of time. Different ships are going to become available on different days. At the end, all of those ships will be available for a couple of days. So don't worry if you missed the initial release date. Another option you can do is if you just have credits in your account and you think you might have interest in a ship that's not normally available, you can take those credits, buy a cross chassis upgrade to that ship, and then melt it in 24 hours, and you can just stack full your buyback area. So that's another option you can have for the anniversary sale. I have several stuff in there of ships I may want. I think I have a Hercules in there that I don't own, but it might be part of it. So again, the anniversary time is a really good time to look at the different ships that are available, what you have, what you want, and where you might want to go. Now, one of the things I want to cover is the the game packages. If you're not aware, I think it was back in 2015 or 2016, they came out with a clarification on what it means to have more than one game package. And that can become an extra character for you should you lose your character, or it can also become a NPC, so a crew member that you don't have to pay, I think.
They said no on that you're not going to have an unpaid NPC.
Okay.
They clarified that some years ago.
But it's your NPC, right?
Yeah, after I bought 3 packages where they clarified it.
Yeah. There's still a lot yet to be said there. There's a lot of different ways they can incentivize it, but there's nothing guaranteed at this point.
Okay. So again, with the ship sale, look out for the LTI token, look out for a 10-year upgrade for your ship, and it's time to make any fleet adjustments that you have. I don't see if we have any questions. I don't see any questions on that topic. If there are, I'll try to get to them when we're done. Moving on from that, if you want something outside of CIG, there is the gray market. And I'm going to talk about how to be safe in the gray market if you choose to do it. And then we're also going to talk about what CIG's stance is on that. Were we able to pull up the pictures for this one? The images?
No, I don't think she was able to get those ready to go. Sorry.
Okay. So if you're on Reddit and you go to the gray market, there's something called confirmed trades. It's at the very top of the website. There's the monthly confirmed trade post. And in there, the attempt is to make things a little safer by when you click on a someone selling a ship, you can see how many confirmed trades they have. The idea being that they're not going to scam you or take your money. Now, you could still be susceptible to some of the issues that have come up where people had bought ships with stolen credits, and then they sold the ships and people lost them. So there is a definite risk to doing business in the gray market. But you can mitigate that a little bit. So one of the safest ways is to go to one of the big ship stores, especially some of the guys who have been around for years. I mean, there have been guys since day one who have been doing this, who have big reputations. You're going to pay a little bit more, but like anything, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So this is a little bit safer to do that. Also, there are scam alerts that are posted. If people are scammed, they typically post a link about that and the person's name. So you want to watch out for those things before you make your purchase. You also want to see the age of the account. I know that I've seen some accounts on there selling that had a month or a week old, and no offense, but that's just a little scary to me. So whether you're going to buy from CIG, whether you're going to go to the gray market, this is a really good time to look at those things. And with that, I'll let Nam tell you about all the scary stuff.
Well, great. No, basically,
Debbie Downer Nom.
Yeah. Buzzkill. Back in June 10th, 2016, CIG updated their terms of service. And I just want to read this one quick blurb. There's a lot of stuff in that terms of service to unpack. But this one paragraph I want to read real quick. The RSI services and the gifting functionality are not provided to facilitate or enable third-party trades, and you are not entitled to any refunds or support by RSI or any of its affiliates in the event you have an issue with any trade involving a third party. The upshot is they're not obligated to help you at all if anything goes wrong on doing gray market trading. That said, they do try to do what they can in most cases that I'm aware of. But in the meanwhile, what can happen is, say an account was set up, they bought ships with a stolen credit card, you buy that ship, and then maybe they've had some legit trades so they would get a reputation, and then they sell the big stuff. You buy one of those. Maybe a month later, somebody reports that credit card stolen, disputes the charges, and suddenly that gets reported back to CIG because suddenly they got this account and they lock down that account and they lock down your account, anything that was connected with the transactions involved. And then it's on you to contact support to get them to unravel that, to at the very least get back your account with your legitimate ships. That can take weeks or even months depending. But they are under no obligation to bend over backwards to help you in these cases. That's the main thing you need to be aware of.
Yep.
So I say my personal opinion is just don't do it. Wait for the anniversary sales, buy what you want there, plan ahead for make part of the fun of the game is going to be earning money so you can buy what you want in game. Give yourself a goal. And that
Cole,
said,
I was
sorry.
just like Cole makes a good point there too. Is a lot of folks, if they're looking on the gray market, those gray market purchases are not going to go towards concierge.
That's a good point too. That gives you $0 for concierge. And you might, and what do you say if it's something you can get someday? What are you saving yourself? 5, 10, $40 maybe if you're lucky. It's not really. It's the only time it's. I guess you could say it was worth it if it's something you can't get otherwise. But is it really worth all that risk? Um,
The flip
and
side of that is, and in all fairness, as somebody that has dabbled a little bit in gray market, there were times where it was real handy, especially those Mustang Omegas that we were picking up for $5 a piece, which were a game package.
Absolutely.
So I
I
mean, there's
get that.
definitely time to play. I agree with you. Saving $10 on a gray market Super Hornet when you can go ahead and buy it, off the shelf with 10 years of insurance, or do an LTI token during the anniversary sale probably doesn't make sense. And that's why I think we talked about anniversary sale mostly, and then mentioned, hey, there is this gray market. But there's other stuff out there where from time to time you can, I mean, ADI as an org, all the members, we probably bought 200 of those Alpha Omega tokens off of eBay. Probably 200 at least.
And you're right, but those kind of deals, those days are done. One of the
you say
things that
that,
seems
we
to
don't
drive a
know.
lot of people's interest is getting the ship with LTI. And like you pointed out, there are ways to do that now. I mean, you can buy like the 100 series just came out. There's always, for a while to come, there's probably going to be the next month or two ahead. There will be the next LTI token you can buy, or
Or 10-year insurance.
10-year. In my opinion, 10 years just as good. And
Yeah.
honestly, if the game goes live and if after 10 years that causes you a problem, you're doing something really wrong.
Vehicles are wonderful LTI tokens. Those bikes that came
Mhm.
out and the G12s that came out, those were all good ones. I think one thing I'd like to mention just on the annual sale is that most people, unless you really delve into a lot about the ships and the ship list, don't realize that there are 3 types of ships that you get. One are the ships that are on the sale all the time. Every time you go to the pledge store, you'll see them. Then you have what's called time limited ships. Those time limited ships are the ones that they release at the annual sale or in any kind of CIG special events, like they did either in subscriber events, or they've had some in the past that they'll be focusing on those, like the Vanguard when the new Vanguard rolled out or something like that. So time limited ships. The last one are limited quantity ships. Those are the ones you'll probably find a lot of people searching the gray market for. Those are the ones that come out even at the annual sale. Unless your character name begins with the word bot, you're probably not going to get an opportunity to buy, because they just get sapped up so quickly. So those are the 3 ones, and there's various ways. Just Google it. You can also look in, I think CIG puts out information as well, if you dig far enough down, as to what are quantity limited, time limited, and always available. So keep those in mind too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
got two things. Two things I want to bring up, Josh, real quick. You had talked about the be careful what you melt, because it may be your package.
Yep.
You're 100% right on that. Please check that first. I have 3 packages, but the other thing to check for is Squadron 42. Of my
That's
3
right.
packages, only one of them has Squadron 42. So I'm never going to sell that one. That'll always stay with me. Currently, it's a merchantman, but that one I'll stick with forever. So watch out. Make sure you get that game, or you'll have to buy it again in the future for $40, whatever it's going to be, whenever Squadron 42 comes out. So if you get it, check it real carefully. And Turin, you're right about the vehicles. They're great LTI tokens. Keep in mind, it didn't used to be that way back whenever. If I bought a vehicle, it said specifically you can't upgrade it to a ship.
Right.
Now the vehicles I have, you can. So that was a nice change that they made, because I have a hell of a lot of vehicles.
Mhm.
So one thing I wanted to cover, since we're trying to make this more useful, and for anyone who has not been around Star Citizen, prototypically, if the ship is under $1,000, the first release of that ship comes with LTR, what's called lifetime insurance, meaning the basic ship as you bought it without upgrades or anything else will be returned to you should something happen to it. After the initial sale, it will have anywhere from 3, 6 months, or during the anniversary, a 10-month sale option. So just be aware of that. And they've even said, and we don't really know the numbers, but that insurance on ships is not going to be your biggest expense.
Well, a couple of things in that space. One, insurance on an individual ship is not going to be a very big expense. Insurance on 20 ships probably is going to be more gameplay than most people are willing to invest in.
Yes.
So there's an argument to be made for, getting long insurance or LTI insurance, and it's worth the extra effort if you're really excited about a ship. You can, unless it's a really low-end ship, starter ship or something like that, it's really relatively easy to get 10-year or 1-year or lifetime insurance on everything. And
Are you admitting you have more than 20 ships, Jay?
no, because my wife is in the room.
And I'm not saying
I'm not
anything, 'cause this is
admitting.
being recorded. So
No.
Right.
On the other account, Jay, not the one she knows about.
I'm not
other-
admitting. I own one ship. One ship. That's
One
it.
ship. I have-
Mustang Omega, $10.
Yes. I didn't even spend $10 on it.
But you're right, Jay. It's a matter of ships you have. I got a ton of ships, and it's a matter of I don't want to do bookkeeping all the time, figuring out who's
Right.
doing what. Now, we've been told that, for example, let's say I'm going to fly some ship I haven't flown in eons. When I go to pull it out, I'll get a little warning saying, hey, you're taking this off without any insurance on it. Do you want to buy insurance now? Which is a magnificent feature if they indeed include that in the game. They'll say, yes, because I usually would crash them.
Yes, but completely agree about that. But at the exact same instance, you have to remember that no matter what it is, let's say you have to play an hour a month to pay for the insurance, which would be pretty minimal.
Yep.
If you have 20 ships, it's 20 hours worth of play every month if you want to fly all of them on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that, it makes sense if you're an early backer to take advantage of LTI and to take
Yeah.
advantage of 10-year insurance. I think, what do you guys think about us doing the next show next month during the sale and maybe doing a buyer's guide?
I'm
Yeah,
good with
sure.
that.
That'd
I'm
be a
game
good
for
one.
that.
Sure.
Do we know exactly what the sale's going to be?
I think we do.
November.
It's going to definitely be in November. We'll wait to schedule the date of the show to be during that, during the sale. The
It'll cover
Saturday at the end of the sale.
specific ships and the specific
Yeah.
options. Yeah.
And we can talk about that and how to do upgrades and provide some advice to the viewers. Just so everybody knows, we have 107 viewers right now, and we are
Cool.
either number 2 or number 3.
Thank you
Number
for putting up with us.
Yeah, actually, we're number 4. We were in the top 3, and somebody came in with 12,000
Oh,
Jeez.
viewers. So we're in the top 4 though.
Very sig.
Um,